third item on the agenda, we get approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second that motion.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Fourth item is to discuss and take action if necessary, the solid waste collection, refusal, container site maintenance, and procedures. Basically, the dumpsters. Everybody knows the top two complaints we get from the people in the parish are dumpsters and the roads. Well, at this time, I would like to start discussing, not necessarily today to do anything drastic, make any big changes, but let's start discussing some of the options and possibilities we have to move forward with the dumpster issue. This news article that's up here, Kevin's got for us right now, shows that in 1974 is when the dumpster started. Put the dumpsters out, they went all around the parish in 1974. By 1977, in the newspaper, the dumpsters are a problem. And they've been a problem for 43 years, ever since they went into place. And I feel that we need to just kind of today open up, discuss, talk a little bit. I'd like to get a couple of short comments from some people that are here listening about what are some of the possibilities, some ideas. Some of the, of course, everybody knows some of the ideas are going door to door. Some of the ideas are making more mega sites. There's a couple of different things that we have talked about and looked at that I would like to, see. Because most of our dumpsters, Kevin, you got a couple of those dumpster pictures, but y'all have all seen them. But most of our dumpsters look about like this all the time. Some of that, as you see, is big stuff that shouldn't be at the dumpster to begin with. And a lot of stuff is just lazy people drag up and throw their garbage out on the ground. Whether the dumpster is full, yes, sir.
In my mega site out here, the biggest problem we have is people who are dumpster divers that come and jump in the dirt. You drive up and somebody's head pops out and they throw a bag out, they open it up, they go through it, and they leave it. They are killing us on those sites.
Right. And then you have the dumpster that may have been clean and now it's not.
Yeah.
But a lot of this stuff shouldn't be in a dumpster to begin with. Now, I'm just as guilty as anybody has been. If I load a truck up Saturday afternoon, cleaning out a bunch of stuff, and you work 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, you can't get back to the dumpster to the landfill before it closes, and you're not going to leave your truck loaded down till next Saturday hauling it around. So this is what I've done. I'm guilty of. I pulled up and dumped the stuff out before, but there has to be something we can do. One of the thoughts I had was at all of our mega sites, if we created a section, a corner, something for non-household garbage, couches, refrigerator. We got 4 mega sites. They're open 24 hours a day. Then, if you can't get to the landfill before it closes, you can go to the mega site, and not just anywhere, in that section that we'd have to mark, label somehow, you could throw out the refrigerators, stoves, TVs, couches, big boxes. One thing you run into there, we have to try to keep contractors from pulling up there and dumping their stuff out at it because they don't want to go pay to go in the landfill. So that is going to be another issue. That's just an idea that I had that might help, for the people to be able to throw stuff away after hours or during the week when you couldn't get to the landfill in time. So I will start with the committee. Does anybody, or the jury, anybody have any other ideas? Hey, do you have that picture of that compost site? That one right there. That is a new compost deal that they've started running in Caddo and DeSoto Parish. It's got a compactor on site where you pull up, put your stuff into, and I've got to get some more details on that. I just kind of got into that the last few days. I haven't been able to study as much as I wanted to before this meeting. I want to go look at one and actually see what it contains. But now the picture right there looks really nice and really clean. That is another option.
Yeah, so that's an open top container on the right side, or I think almost 2 of them. That's back here at the top is a station where it's manned, it's locked. After hours, it's locked. And then that's the industrial compactor right there, where it's really completely self-contained. You put the trash in, it takes it away, it compacts it in there. So those containers can be moved around pretty easy on a rollback truck.
So those are pretty portable.
Yeah. The container disconnects from the compactor unit. Yeah, they're about $30,000 a piece, the entire compactor.
Are we seriously wanting to try to find another mega site, or do you think we have enough mega sites? Do we need to try to find?
The last time mega sites came up, It was pretty rough around the
Yes.
area for a few days.
Yep.
So I'm not saying that's the answer, but I am saying we need to do something. We need to figure out a way. And I don't think it's a great idea to go out there and just start writing tickets to everybody that pulls up. However, we may have to in order to get it under control.
I think we're gonna see more enforcement around some of these, in the near future.
Some of the signs.
Yes. I think that's going to take place.
Absolutely.
So
It's a
I
priority.
believe that's coming down the pipe and pretty quick. And education along with enforcement is going to carry us a little way.
That's right.
It won't carry us all the way, but I like what you're doing with coming up with some different options and at least trying to discuss it because it's you know, it's a hot topic, no question about that.
If we went door to door, plus these mega sites, what would that cost per household? Approximately.
Now, I did get contacted the other day by a gentleman, I don't even know how, from somewhere over around Monroe that they subcontract out. And he's supposed to be, I was hoping I had the email today, but I didn't. Supposed to be emailing me something for the 40 to 50,000 resident range on what they charged. You know, if you just subcontract and didn't do it ourselves, what they would charge to come out and to do it. But far as what it would cost us if we did it ourselves, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, Skate,
I'm gonna-
we've got a fellow back here who's into that
Is
business.
that, okay. Maybe the
If
gentleman
you'd
I
like to
talked
speak
about-
now, I don't.
No,
Okay.
is it okay? if I
Yeah,
speak?
go ahead.
Okay. My name's David Green, I'm with Public Services, been with the company for 34 years. It's the old BFI garbage company you may be used to. Live in Arcadia, and I'm the Municipal Marketing Manager, Government Affairs I cover basically all of North Louisiana to Jackson, down to Hattiesburg, and all the way to South Memphis. But you're looking for, now all this depends, I'm just gonna give you an average, you know, and it all depends what level of service you want. But let's just say you keep it simple. You know, one time a week, garbage service, with a 96-gallon cart provided. You're looking at, let's just say we did not use your disposal. You know, I think you have a good disposal rate up in Union, but you're looking at anywhere between what we negotiate, between $13 to $15 a month. Is what you're looking at. Now there's room if you want extra, if you want less, if you want boom trucks, if you want, are you gonna keep enjoying the same disposal? But my price is including disposal. I'll come in, well, I say my price, if my company or any company takes over, we take our trucks, your garbage, and take to our landfill, which would be our yard. You know, if you decide to go whole, I've done this across the country. Natchitoches Parish, I set the program up for them back years ago. They were under DQ order to get rid of their dumpsters. And this is a very good setup here. It's very clean. If you have three-phase power available, it works. I don't want to mislead anybody and y'all start jumping into, especially buying sites. Natchitoches Parish actually bought sites and then realized they couldn't get three-phase power.
How much of a big an area do you need to have an operation like this? An acre?
You can have it as small as an acre with no problem. The compactor cost, Mr. Hunt referred to, total all in with electricity, he's very close to that. Compactor, the compactors itself, the bodies will last 10 years plus with no problem. As long as they're not abused. The motor and all, the compactor packing unit is good for 10 plus years, usually, without a problem. This here, I know Caddo Parish, I used to pick up all of Caddo Parish, their dumpsters. It's a good setup. They are manned. Natchitoches Parish has theirs manned, but theirs are manned certain hours. You know, you'll have one area that's 8 to 12, and then the next day they're 12 to 1. because your average citizen's gonna produce 2,000 pounds, average household, not citizen, average household, is gonna produce about 1,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds a year of residential MSW garbage. So if you wanna know what your disposal's gonna be, just take your house count for, you know, for your residence house count and multiply that to 2,000, you'll have your tonnage. But if you're looking at cost, now, I mean, once again, I've priced this before to the jury several years ago, and I've heard a few comments on it. We came up with 10 or 15 different scenarios, but once you start the door-to-door, and then you branch out to this, it was not cost inducive for the jury at the time. Now, at that time, they didn't have mega sites already. They were just a small size. But regardless of what you do, feel free. I'll leave my name, my number, my cards. I'll help you consult, no charge. I mean, y'all are my sister parish, and I'd love to see it clean here too. When I drive over to Ruston to go to what my wife calls go to town, you know, a lot of our kin folks are from the Simsboro area. You're on the right track, the right thinking. You brought up some very good points in your thought process a minute ago. Yeah, the dumpsters, they're abused. But there's ways that you can make anything better. These units right here, if you have the land already and you have the availability of three-phase power, you can do pretty well with this. But you're still, even with this, will never be as cheap as doing door-to-door where we come in, or whomever comes in, or yourself, if you decide to do it yourself and takes it to the landfill. And in Bienville Parish, we take the 96-gallon carts, we'll take 3 to 5 bags of trash around there in small bundles of limbs, and that's for almost $14, $15 there. Now, Bienville is a 30-plus year customer, so they've always received, you know, very, very good rates at the time. And but anything you have, there's a wealth of ways you can do this. Door to door is going to be your cleanest, cheapest option. I've done this across the country. This is next. It's not as cheap as having your dumpsters in your compactors or your convenience sites, but if they're watched and manned, I've seen the dumpster sites work as long as they're fenced in. And you have to close them. You have to close them and you have to be watched. It's an inconvenience. I don't want to lose business, but it's an inconvenience. But for cost-wise, it could be, you know, the best way for you. But you're going to have to take it off, and you're going to have a lot of people complain. But you know, as well as I, you have the outskirts of the parish, you have people bringing it in from other parishes, you have other cities bringing it in. It just needs to be maintained and watched. But I feel free to help any jury member here. I can give you a wealth of information from, I actually cover, I have 21 municipal contracts that I do with a net revenue over $31 million a year. So, and I do from rural Mississippi, Sledge, Mississippi, you know, population 198 to City of Shreveport's recycle with 66,000 homes. So we can come up with any plan. Yes,
So
sir.
tell me again, where does the trash go? Where will it be disposed of? You take it away, take it out of the
Well, it
parish?
just depends on what we negotiate. You currently, I think, have a transfer station here. You are kind of fortunate here. Anybody that comes in to do your door-to-door, you're either going to operate the transfer station all by yourself, a separate entity, or you're going to direct where the waste goes. And if you direct where the waste goes, you're kind of limited on who will come in here for it. If this was me coming in here tomorrow to give you a proposal, I would want to do door-to-door service and operate your transfer station for you. I would employ, I'd buy your equipment, I'd have your employees. I'm just like any other employer. I want good employees. I want long-term employees. I want employees that's drug and alcohol free and can pass our work background. But I don't want to mislead anybody. Anybody that comes in, we would love the opportunity to do the door-to-door or the compactor unit. For our company, the transfer station would be key though. We would take our waste to our landfill. But and then you either have a rebate program for running whatever you decide on the transfer station. But for Republic Services to come in here, the key for us would be, you are geographic right in the middle between two service areas, between the Shreveport area and the Monroe area, kind of on the verge of the Monroe area. But one of my core offices is in Minden, Louisiana, Webster Parish landfill. We have right there, we operate and maintain Webster Parish landfill. But just giving you an idea, if somebody else comes in or anybody comes in from a company, and we're the second largest garbage company in the United States. We have over 36,000 employees. We operate in 41 states. But I'll just be upfront and honest with you right now. If I was to come in and offer you door-to-door service, my deal hinges on taking control of the transfer station too. And if that means taking over the C&D landfill and taking full operation of your solid waste program, we are more than capable of offering that. And that's after negotiations with whomever would need to be done. But I'm not the only company that would offer that too. But I do know that your rates are going to be somewhere in between 13 to 15, maybe 16, depending on when you decide to do this, what the current economic issues are today. We provide the cards, we maintain the cards, we provide one time a week, or we provide twice, whatever you want. It just depends on your revenue that you have per year to spend. You can offer as much. We did offer at one time, the last time I actually did a proposal was for a 5-mile area outside of Ruston is what we decided upon giving a rate on. And then I think 7 of these mega sites throughout the parish, but then they went mega sites and then we had roll-offs added. And before it was over, I just had to say your cost is not within your revenue that you gave me to manage with that, because there was more and more services that were added, on there. So,
Okay. Yeah, make sure you leave your information with us.
I will. I appreciate the opportunity to talk. Any ideas or any questions that you have, I feel free, and I can give you a plethora of contacts, different parishes, cities that do this. But if the concern was employees, et cetera, if you do this, we'll buy your equipment, we'll buy we'll take your employees. We'd love to have a transfer station, because then we could come over to Ruston and be more competitive on commercial to hopefully drive down your business rates. But that's just me talking right now. But anything you need, just feel free. Regardless if we're going to get to work or not, you're like I said, y'all are my sister parish, and anything I can do to help, I feel free. Because a cleaner Louisiana is good for all of us. Thank you.
Sir. We appreciate it.
And so roughly what I hear say, you got, so take $13 a household, we got roughly 9,000 residents, you're looking at a $1.4 million annual budget. I mean, we got a revenue of almost 1.3 million from sales tax that
Let
we
me
get
make
every
a
year.
comment, if I could, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Last year, your budget for solid waste disposal, whatever, was $5,888,000. So that would go a long ways toward paying for this. Your budget in 2019 was $5,888,000 plus change dollars. So you're not looking at going out and getting all the new tax. You've already got $6 million on the table already, okay? I invited Mr. Green to come. He stole all my thunder, so I don't have much to say. I will say one thing. You know, the compactors or the mega sites with your whatever, remember one thing, unless you enclose these with the shed, my background is oil and gas. There's a EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency. if they ever come in here and test the soil around these dumpster sites, you're looking at a tremendous fine, first thing, tremendous cost to move all that contaminated dirt to a hazardous waste site and pay to dispose it and pay to reclaim these sites. So unless you close these sites you're talking about, so rainwater doesn't run into them and still run off the concrete and get into the dirt, you have a tremendous liability. Remember that, okay? Thank you, Mr. Green. You stole my thunder.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to clarify one thing. The half-cent solid waste sales tax goes, first calls the operation of the landfill. Any excess by formula has to be distributed to other municipalities. The solid waste collection piece is our portion of that solid waste disposal. That $6 million is not what we have to spend on solid waste collection. It is our percentage of that excess tax, which is around 1.4 million.
Yeah, but he's including the disposal.
Well, unless you look at this before you go out and spend some more money, you're wasting the parish's money. You need to get some numbers and see what it would actually cost and what you would actually do. Before you do anything.
We're not voting on anything tonight.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Before you do anything, see what it actually costs to do it.
That's right.
The little mega site down by my house, y'all poured a bunch of concrete, built a real nice fence around it. You got these mercury vapor lights. I suppose there are 6 cameras, but I don't know if there's any film in them or not, because there's not been any citations written. Right now, the lights don't burn. Saturday morning, 4 of the 11 containers are full of junk already. So, you know, unless you're going to police this, you know, whatever.
Which side is that?
507.
That's out there,
507,
507.
next site.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I know right now we're talking about long-term solutions, right? For systemic changes in what we do.
Yeah.
But I think if we could take a second to talk about some short-term solutions that would be beneficial. I think last month, Courtney mentioned we've got a 4th compactor truck that's running. We've got it rented. So we've got additional routes. Right now, Terry, are we running at all on the weekends?
Yes, we run on Saturday, 8 to 12.
Running on Saturday, 8 to 12? At least the dumpster on Pipes Road by my house and the sites in the near vicinity of that one, it's really Saturday night and Sunday morning where the real problems are. So it's possible even that we start, picking them up later, have a Sunday route maybe, or having an additional route here, because if there's room, most people are going to do the right thing and put it in the dumpster. So just as far as, right now, short-term fixes, I think we made a huge step in having an additional compactor truck. All 4 of those running right now?
We still got that 4th truck,
I
right?
still have the 4 truck. Somebody is taking the slack for that 4 truck right now. We don't have to drive it. But somebody is taking the slack for it, so it's just like his 4 truck.
Okay.
So what I would say, I propose that we, whatever, with the resources that we have right now, even if it's going to, let's run more, let's pick up trash.
We're already a driver short.
Huh?
We're already a driver short.
Well, whatever we got to do to get an additional driver.
You'll also be, you also may want to
Hire
consider
somebody.
find a couple more transfer trailers. Because if you're going to be running on the weekend like that,
You have a place to store.
yeah, over the weekend, so.
For Monday. Right. Yeah, that is a good option. Yes, ma'am.
I think we need to work with our citizens on terminology. I don't think some of them understand when they say household item. A refrigerator is in the house. A mattress is in the house. I think we should be more whatever, and getting them to understand, not refrigerators. When we talk about household items, we're talking about items that come from the kitchen or the bathroom, instead of saying household items.
Maybe that would help.
Yeah, it's confusing to people.
That's part of the educational part that, we was kind of trying to, mention a while ago. We do have to educate people, like you're saying, exactly, on what you can and cannot do there. But I think you're right. Some people think that it's perfectly all right to go
Right.
carry that to the dump.
Derek, do you have something you want to?
Yeah, I just want to mention, talk about education. One thing you could do now, you've had the boom truck that will pick up anything in front of your house if you put it out there in that way.
Yeah.
Creek or whatever. Most
But
people
you gotta
don't
call.
know that. I don't know how you
That's
educate
right.
them, but.
You're right. Most people do not know that.
They don't have to carry it down to the dumpster, put it in that, because when it goes in that dumpster, when he takes that compactor truck and tries to load it and compact it, messes up the cylinder, when you got all that steel and all that stuff like that in there. And if you can get them to just put it out front and then call them, I mean, that's something you can do now that would.
Short term.
Yeah, short term.
Another thing, maybe if we ask them to put out items on a particular date. You know, if the truck is passing Tuesday, ask people to put out the large items on Monday. We just brainstorm here.
I don't know how to.
Our trucks travel every day.
So,
We
they
don't,
have to call the landfill, I guess.
yeah, I mean, we don't have the resources to do like some of the municipalities do, going down every street, looking for the pile to pick up. In fact, you know, we get complaints because people don't understand. They'll see our truck go down the road, pass up their pile, you know, and go on down, and then, well, he went right by it, and you stop and pick it up. And they don't, you're right, they don't understand that they need to call. And so they go on the list, and we go down that list in order. And so it would be really hard to, not hard, it would be more costly, but that way you'd have to hire additional drivers and get additional boom trucks if you wanted to run established, you know, routes every week down certain routes.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask a question?
Go ahead, you ask, but
No,
then I'll ask.
you're on the committee, go ahead.
I get frustrated because in my district, like so many of your districts, I see piles that have been out there for weeks and weeks and weeks. I'd like to see us make a few little adjustments to our program so that when you go along and you see a pile of debris, you just stop and pick it up.
You're in that neighborhood anyway.
You're on that road, you're driving by, stop and pick it up. I often stop and call and say, there's a pile right here, and I talk to the owner and they want it picked up. Would you do that? I know the people are supposed to call and turn that in, but they don't do that often, and they don't know to do that in so many cases.
Yes, sir.
I think Ms. Schreiber and others have had a great suggestion. We need to educate people. Ms. White had a good idea, people just don't know. What would it cost us to do a mail out for every household? That's something we gotta look at. But in that mail out, there gotta be more than one. You can't do it just one time. You gotta plan it out to do a mail out over a period of time for people to know a refrigerator is not household.
That's right.
Kitchen and bath.
Educational mail out.
Yeah, so if we educate them, I think we'll see a difference there for the site. You
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
now that's just a thought. You know, and these people be educated, but they'll know, but it need to be every, people within the city go out there,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So you're looking at every resident in Lincoln Parish to get a letter explaining what's what over a period of time.
You also need to explain that if you live in the city, you call the city, don't call the parish.
That need to be in the letter.
In the letter, too.
Yeah, that need to be in the letter.
Yes, sir.
Is there, and I know it's not a big deal for me to pick up the phone and call, but some people that's a headache to do. Is there, I mean, everybody stays online, everybody's looking at social media. Is there a program, granted, the education needs to start, in my opinion, on social media. It's pretty cheap. So is there a way that maybe when you're online, there's a form, you know, hey, I need this picked up, click, and it's got your address and it goes, and it puts it in the queue, and you maybe can see it. You know, a little bit of, you know, putting it on the police chief's website makes it a little bit easier for somebody, because I can tell you what a lot of people are going to do is they're going to get on the police chief's website, they're going to get the solid waste number, and then they're going to call the solid waste because they ain't going to have it memorized and they won't save it. So if there's somewhere we can get on there and make it a little more convenient for the person to do it, and maybe can see, hey, I'm, you know, in this area, or I'm, you know.
But some people in the rural area don't have access to internet.
Well, and I'm not saying that's the only way to do
The
it.
only way to contact.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Other way to-
there's a lot of people who, if they've got a cell phone, a lot of people have access to internet. They got access to social media, so, and I think that's more heading to the direction, instead of picking up the phone and calling somebody to do something. I mean, I get text messages, I get emails. Phone calls are slowly going the other direction while the other stuff's going up. So if we had another avenue for somebody, an app, or, you know.
I'm gonna concur with Matt, not just solid waste, but project,
Yeah.
potholes, you name it.
Yeah, like something, not
Establishing-
To young people.
not a complaint, you know, not a complaint board, but more of a, hey, here's the roads that we're working on.
Something you can do on your phone.
You
They
know,
don't have internet, but they got phones.
that's correct.
So, I mean, it's an app on the phone.
And most people have that now, and I think that's very convenient for somebody to take their phone and go, oh, I need trash pickup. I'm sitting there looking at it, and I got my phone.
Well, my district, they just like calling me, so I'm just that kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people still do call, but I get more information.
You've got
other
some
ways.
characters in your district.
Well, I'm not quite as optimistic on the education side. I'm more of, I think I talked to Ms. Joe the other day about it. I mean, I think we need to start educating here. The ones that are already here are gonna continue to do the same thing,
What?
day after day after day.
I mean, I could
So if you
probably,
can get it into schools,
Yeah.
we need, I look at that money we give to litter, whatever it is, we give money. And start educating the schools, because I remember when I moved to Ruston 21 years ago, it was, well, keep Lincoln beautiful, we had programs, it was everyday occurrence to hear on the radio about keeping Lincoln Parish beautiful, but that's gone.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that in a long time.
That's because the governor's wife is still
Is that what it is? So we don't have enough, if we're gonna stay with dumpsters, our community has grown, as you already know. We've got new neighborhoods at every corner, and we've got fewer dumpsters. So, I mean, it stands to reason, we got more trash. So, picking up more,
And different kinds of trash too. You got more corrugated boxes.
you got more boxes, more Amazon boxes.
Amazon.
Nobody crushes them, they all.
Just
So,
throw it in there.
unless you pick up more,
You got a
the
patch.
dump or add dumpsters, if that's the right, it's just a numbers game. Same thing with pickup, daily pickup or weekly pickup.
You can see if anybody had something that we had.
If they do that, they'll crush their boxes before they put them in the trash can.
But I gotta move on to the burning deal, right? I'm gonna cut anybody off that has something to say.
Let me tell you, I think enforcement and also adding a fourth truck is gonna help. But when I say a truck is running on Saturday, there's only one truck, one compactor running, not the whole carriage. So maybe we can add something on Saturday, that would be an option, and enforcement and the negative sites. But when we're running the routes and people see our trucks pass by, when we're running garbage routes, you can't just stop and pick up somebody's wood waste. You can't add them together. So we have to pass by them. So they're gonna see us passing by every day. We have a certain day set aside for house calls, but we'll also pick them up on the day that we finish the garbage route early. But you can't combine it and haul it all together. Your wood waste and your solid waste.
The boom trucks pick up both.
Right.
So they pick up the garbage, the oversized stuff, so they're going to the dump sites picking up the oversized stuff. You can't mix wood waste with garbage.
That's why we're passing by.
That's why you might see them pass by.
Good point.
Courtney, would we need any official action to increase routes and things of that nature?
No, unless it was, a budget adjustment was required in some way, shape, or form.
Would you anticipate, say you added 2 more routes on Saturday, maybe 1 on Sunday, would you anticipate that could alter the budget enough to need for them?
I mean, you'd probably have to get another driver.
Right.
You could probably do it with the same trucks, so I mean, it's just increasing personnel.
Just increase personnel costs.
Yeah. Let us look at it.
And we don't need a motion or anything to take a look at it.
Is it unheard of to pick up 7 days a week? I don't know, is somebody willing to work on Sundays so they can have another day off?
Yeah, I mean, we did a lot of that, like during the tornado and different things like that, you know, you have a lot of overtime involved, and a lot of guys, you know, they wanna make that overtime.
Yeah,
So-
give them time off during the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, but it's mainly your personnel at this point, not necessarily, you know, adding more compactor trucks or, boom trucks. You know, it's just working with what you have and expanding that personnel force a little bit so you can run 7 days a week. But on the backside of that, like I said, you gotta have somewhere to put it. You don't want all your trailers full Monday morning when the city and all these other people are coming out there, so you're gonna have to probably look at spending some money and buying some more trailers.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say, is
Okay.
that you'd have to add another transfer trailer, about
Okay.
73,000. So it would be a budget, of
How much for the trailer?
About 73,000.
For one?
I'd say you probably would be.
What day does Rustin pick up? Huh?
Monday and Tuesday,
Monday?
Monday and Tuesday.
Ruskin comes out every day, I don't know what roster they're running, but they come out with the landfill company every day.
So you know where the garbage is going to on Fridays and Saturdays? And Sundays?
Yeah, it's coming to our dumpster.
They'll go down all week.
More than just that.
I have one more question for that young man in the back there. Do you have any provisions to pick up from the elderly? That they cannot get their,
Oh,
does not, can't get their garbage can to the road?
every contract I have, and almost any company will have, is based upon anybody that's considered elderly that has a medical excuse, or I've been fortunate enough to live in the communities I service. If the commissioner called me and said, Miss So-and-so, the only rules we put on is if it is an elderly person living there or an elderly couple, but of course, a lot of times I'll get that call, if they'll have 10 grandkids living there or something. That doesn't meet the definition. But it's really never been an issue with us. And all companies are very lax on it. We do not currently charge extra for side door. Now, we won't go behind the house, but side door, we try to meet somebody halfway. Or get a variance that we can go down the driveway, depending on what it is. But usually our rules are anything within 75 yards of the road. You know, we're pretty good. And all of my contracts have some sort of provision for that, for every service.
Thank you.
All right, we don't have any action to take at this moment. I'd like to move on to the next item on the agenda. We should discuss and take action if necessary, the landfill air curtain burner contract with Crochet Equipment Company. Kevin got some pictures over here. Some of these pictures were taken months ago. We all know it's been way behind. That pile that you see in the middle there, you can't really tell what it is, that's a pile of wood and stuff that we've been piling up that they're supposed to keep burning. And of course, last year during the tornado, they got behind and they couldn't catch up, and they're still behind, and we paid, I don't even know how much, I never did even follow up to see. We paid a chipper truck to go out there and it chipped for a while to help catch up, and we're still behind, we're still not caught up. And this contract actually has 2 more years left on it. And over 2 more years will be approximately $300,000 that will pay for this kind of service. Back up one picture, Kevin. As you can see right there, I climbed up on top of that pile this morning and took that picture. That greenery in the middle is new stuff growing into stuff that's piled up that's been there so long. It's already got new growth on it. So it'll be about $300,000 we'll have to pay to go to the end of the contract in 2 years. Now, I'm not suggesting we cancel today, but I think it is something that we should look into possibly canceling out of this contract due to the fact that it's not even catching up. And it's not the first time. He got behind several times on it. We've had to help him catch up several times. It accidentally caught on fire and all burned up one time. So it's just been a mess. That picture back up one Kevin, beside my truck, just to show you how tall that pile is. You know, it's 10, 12 feet tall. My truck's about 7 feet tall. And it's way above it, the whole deal. We're spending a lot of money for no service. Now, I talked to Lewis this morning. He's going to do some looking for me. He didn't have time to do it today because I didn't cross my mind till today. But according to the contract, if we bail out early, we have to buy his equipment, approximately $150,000, to still half of what our contract would be if we fulfill it for 2 years. But since he's breaking contract, because in the contract he can't have more than 200 tons of wood waste. Carry approximately how much is out there?
That's well over 200, maybe like 9. It's like, you get like 450 tons a month, and he's at least 2.5 months.
Yeah, so we're like 900 tons on the ground, and he's not supposed to ever get over 200 tons on the ground, and this has happened multiple times. So I believe with him being the one that's breaking the contract and not being able to catch up, and he obviously can't even keep up, much less catch up, then I told Mr. Lewis to look in to see if there'd be a way for us to get out of the contract, because he can't hold his end of the deal and it not cost us to buy that equipment, because to my understanding, that equipment's not in real good shape. It's breaking down all the time.
So how often is he burning? I mean, is he burning
When the weather's
8 hours a day, 7 days?
If the weather's real pretty, I've noticed when I go by there, it's burning. Like that picture there, you can see the smoke coming out. But if the weather's not real pretty, if it's a little hazy or if it's a little damp or something, it's not burning. I'm not sure the exact number of days, but.
It will be covered by heat if it's raining, not to burn on the rain.
Burn on rain. So,
Has the weather got to be just so-so?
Well, it's been so wet.
It's not rain. It only says rainy day.
okay, so if it's cloudy, we can still burn.
Right.
Yes, sir, Skip.
Mr. Hall, what is your experience with this group? You are right in the middle of the
Long
whole
history
thing.
there. Yeah. You know, we had a contract with him years ago, back in the 90s. And, you know, came to a somewhat of a conflict resolution type thing and got out of the contract. The police jury looked at, you know, doing the burning themselves again. That's how we originally started. And, you know, we didn't get a lot of headway with that. And so we decided to go ahead and, you know, try crochet again. I mean, he's one of the few in the state. He's got several of these biomass processors. And that was pretty much, you know, led by the solid waste committee at that time. Wanted to engage him again. But if you remember, and Richard probably remembers this, we got crossways with him one time. We tried to get out of his contract, and he hired an attorney. And it was, you know, every month we would have a meeting, go back and forth about who was doing what and who wasn't doing what. And we basically, you know, ended the contract at a certain point in time. And then we decided we might try composting. You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We had a mulching plant out here in McDonald Avenue. We had an agreement they were going to buy all of that stuff and come out and get it processed, but it's too much for them. I don't know how many tons we actually received, but I mean, we get a heck of a lot of wood waste out there. And of course, most of it is coming from Ruston. A lot of those big piles are probably boom trucks in the back there and dump pine straw, which doesn't burn very well, especially when it's wet. We had a little issue, and I think you know, when we had our first solid waste committee meeting early in the year before we got into this COVID deal, I gave a little history of the landfill. Crochet actually lost his DEQ permit, and you know, for like 6 months, and that's another reason that he just got so far behind. And he was pointing his finger blaming us because when we renewed our permit, there was some technical glitch or something that we said we didn't put in our permit, but we said it's not our responsibility because you have a permit for DEQ, and you should attend to your business. So it's a love-hate relationship. I think there's a disconnect between Mr. Crochet, who runs the company, and his man that he has up here doing the actual burning and work. I don't think they're always on the same page about what's going on. And so something needs to be done. There's no doubt about that.
And Kerry, there's actually a DEQ requirement that he's wall, whatever you want to call it, he's actually broken about the amount of tonnage that's in that picture, correct?
Right. And height is only supposed to be 6 feet.
6 feet. You can tell the picture is well over 6 feet.
And that's both big sections, not one big pile.
Do you think that we can handle doing our own burning? Because it'll be on, I mean, we may make the decision, but you're gonna be the man that has to do it. Could you handle it if we got it, once it, I understand, once it got
Like
called,
you burn.
we got it home, would you be able to, y'all be able to handle it out there?
Right, yes.
Right, so we could purchase a burner,
A new burner.
a new burner.
This one is in
Now,
terrible shape.
I did look today on the website Carrie gave me, didn't have time to look real long, I was busy. But what I was looking at, the mid-sized burners out there, which he told me we didn't need a huge one, was around 170 to 200,000, which is still less than what we're gonna pay.
More than that. I figured more.
Yeah, yeah. That's just a little bit of looking I got to do. I've got some more digging, I'm gonna do some more pricing.
And what's his annual cost?
150,
$156,000.
$156,000 a year.
We got 2 years left.
180,000.
And there's just one employee out there, right? And not like an articulated loader that just picks it up and
Yes,
drives it.
yes, right, just a front
So
line.
how much of that will go to the staff when they have to start doing that work?
I'm sorry, I didn't know. What's,
I was just asking a question, we were talking about bringing it back locally
yes,
for the guys to do, which will save you some money from this contract. So I'm asking, will you be considering paying the men, not just their salary now, but the ones that are having to be out there burning, get an increase as a result of you saving money?
I think we
from the
need
contract that's not doing what they're
additional
supposed to.
employees.
So what?
I think we would require additional employees.
You wait till you get some money.
that's right. Yes, sir, Mr. Bill.
Yeah, Courtney's right, it's been a battle with him all the years too. You know, one time we even had to have him here at a meeting, Courtney, I think, get him to do something. But when you start to do it yourself, just remember, you gotta get a permit. You gotta get the permit.
That's right, okay.
So, in the meantime, you gotta do something till you do that, because that'll take a while to get.
Anybody know about how long it takes to
You
get a
may,
permit?
you may wanna call him up here, call him on, I mean,
We've been trying to get a new.
sometimes you have to get a lawyer to talk to
It
them.
takes a while. No, the new C&D area that we're developing. Yeah, that's been in the works for a year and a half.
Do we need to start moving in the direction of procuring a permit for us to do it
I was thinking,
in any event?
even if we didn't do
Even
it
if
or
we
whatever,
didn't do
it
it,
takes months to do it, probably gonna
To overcome that time lapse.
That's right. While we're deciding what to do, we'd be trying to get a permit for it.
And I would recommend that, you know, you talk to Lewis, we get him to write a letter, just, you know, stating he's in violation of his contract, you know, as we see this, put him on notice. Because he does have so many days to correct it. And I can almost guarantee you he's gonna come up with some excuse or another.
Yeah.
Try to kind of weasel out from under it. So at least we can get that started. In the meantime, we can.
Where do a permit like that cost?
I don't think it's gonna be real expensive. It's mainly a lot of paperwork and engineering.
Who
So,
would do that?
Riley Company, we use them for, they process a lot of our permits. And I'm thinking maybe $25,000 for an air permit.
It just takes a while to get.
Yeah.
We need to get started.
That's each year for, I mean, have to have a permit, is that, how long does that permit last?
Generally, the air permits are what, 10 years?
10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir.
How often do y'all pay him?
Monthly,
Monthly at a fixed cost,
15,000.
13.
And y'all just been paying him right along? And
We
missed-
did not
and
pay
missed a
him.
payment, huh?
We did not pay him, is this correct? We did not pay him during the time when he did not have a permit.
Yeah, we withheld payments from him for several months. And when the chipper went out there to process some of the tornado debris, we gave him the option of, you know, paying the chipper to chip up his stuff so he could get caught up. And he would only agree to spend $5,000. He said after that, we're not doing any more. So, I mean, that was his option. He had the opportunity.
Well, if you know, you said you had a problem for him, trying to get him to come up here, but if you quit writing checks to him, he'd show up real quick.
With his lawyer.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you need 2 recommendations to the jury. One is for our attorney to send a letter, and the other one is start the permitting process.
Okay. All right, can we get a recommendation for our attorney to send a letter to him about being in violation?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. All right, can we also get a recommendation to start the permitting process for ourselves to get the permit to be able to do this?
I make a recommendation that we start the permit process for Lincoln Parish Police Bureau.
I second the motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion and second has been made. All right, next item is any other business for the solid waste recycling committee? Nope, meeting adjourned.